upload it.
All right, cool. All right, thank you, everyone. This is another edition of Hot Takes, Hotter Bakes, brought to you by Eastern Volleyball Network. Like and subscribe. You've got myself, Graham Wren, Kevin Knight, and then we've got Cortland Scherenborg with us as well. Decided to hop on today. How you feeling? Feeling good?
Pretty good. I'm excited about this tournament. It's going to be a real tough one. I mean, there's a lot of teams. I'd say the majority of these teams have a good shot making top four at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is the TVA tournament, right?
Yeah, TVA at February 27th, indoor sand. 24-team field. It's pretty stacked. I'm excited. There's a lot of good teams. So without further ado, you want to just get into it?
Yeah, let's go top to bottom on the bracket. And I'm sure you guys used only objective criteria to pick your picks.
Yeah, only objective criteria.
Brackets, first of all.
What was that?
Real quick, who made the brackets and how are we doing this?
That's a good point. So Cortland and I independently made brackets, and we picked every game the same except for one, which is pretty wild. We didn't really get into the 5th place, 3rd place, or the final. But everything up until then is generally by consensus, but we will technically, so we're going to be going off of those brackets, but we will vote on everything again, because obviously my vote doesn't count for my matches and Cortland's doesn't count for his. So if you disagree, those matches will be a coin flip, but otherwise we're just going to go.
All right. So I'll just chime in where you guys are wrong, because otherwise I'll be outvoted. So I'm going to be most.
Is he just going to hop off?
I
guess he's just going to hop off.
The shade already. All right.
All right. First match, Kyle Price and Eric Troshin against Chris Peters and Dan Hurley. I know all these guys. Kyle Price, Virginia Beach local legend who moved away to Ohio and is coming back. Eric Troshin's a big guy, 6'4" blocker. Chris Peters and Dan are both juniors. Chris goes to Cox. I'm not sure where Dan goes. Chris is younger brother of Brad Peters. I like Chris's game a lot. Yeah, I like Chris's game a lot. Very, very developed for 16 or 17.
I haven't seen much of him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much. So I just haven't watched much of him. So going off that, going off what you're saying, I kind of see this one as a tough one then.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. But Dan struggles in the sand.
Okay.
He's a big indoor middle blocker who similarly like 16, 17. So he's gonna struggle to adjust to balls. He's gonna struggle with ball control. He's gonna struggle to set at times. And at the end of the day, Kyle Price fixes a lot of those things, and Eric is still a pretty, relatively solid and experienced sand player.
Experience is gonna be I think.
For sure.
All right.
So we'll go Kyle Price and Eric Troshin there. Next match, Joe Agaroy and Ben Pung against Doug Thorne and Bryce McVeigh.
I honestly see this one as being kind of a good one.
Yeah.
I think Doug and Bryce, after seeing them for a couple of weeks in the league, I mean, it's just league, but still Doug is playing really well. I see Bryce coming up. I see this one as those two together playing really well.
Yeah.
But I think the aggressiveness by Pung will also give them troubles.
You think?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because Doug and Bryce McVeigh do have a pretty good chemistry together, and Doug is going to run down a lot of balls if you let him. And Joe Agaroy is a smaller player who's similarly fast and, hits some pretty good shots. Kevin, have you seen Ben Pung play in person?
We played at one of the same events, the big event, so I actually didn't get to watch him play at all. I asked Ruzik about him, and
you talked to Joe Ruzik about him?
Just briefly.
Okay.
Anything deep dive. He likes his game. Still coming from indoor, so he's going to make some mistakes. But one of these guys that's coming up, and he's trying to go get it. Obviously, he's coming to Virginia Beach from Ohio, so really happy to see these guys out here. And simply for the fact that they're traveling a few states over, I'm going to probably guess that they're going to come to ball.
Okay. All that being said, we went ahead and gave them the benefit of the doubt and picked Agaroy and Pung, especially just based on points.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Next, we have the 12 versus the 21. Cam Rodriguez, Dalton Bundy against James Moyer and Francis Becknell.
I talked to him about this one.
You talked to Cam?
He was
What did
like,
Cam have to say?
nothing much about the game. He was just like, we practice with James a lot, me and Dalton. So it's gonna be kind of those games where you kind of come in and just like, okay, like let's see who's better. But he was talking. He was like, yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, but also I think we have the upper hand on this one because of the experience by Dalton and Cam. They play together all the time. So I see them kind of not rolling through this one, but having dominance over this one pretty easily.
Interesting. Because I think James told me he beats that ass in training.
Ooh. Ooh.
Love it.
We got two different mixes.
Yeah, and James and Francis will be coming off of a fresh night's sleep. I don't know about Cam and Dalton.
They're coming here at like 12. So.
Oh, they're coming here. Well, Francis and James will be arriving at my place around 10.
Oh, there you go. 2 extra hours.
All that being said, we did go with Cam and Dalton.
We did.
I was gonna say court.
Yeah. Next, Josh Lanier, Brian Conacher. Do you know where those guys are from, Kev?
No, I don't actually.
Josh Lanier, I thought he was from North.
They're both from
Oh,
Raleigh.
fuck.
Yeah, that's okay. The Josh Lanier, Brian Conacher against I think it's Dallas Hitchens and Colin Register. We went with Lanier Conacher. They're kind of in that middle-ish open range. Colin looked like he had a lot of AA finishes under his belt. Same with Dallas. They both had a couple like U18 finishes too. So making that transition to open, which is nice, but they are making that transition. So until they give us a reason, otherwise we're going to pick Josh and Brian.
Sounds good.
Next we got Kevin. I'm going to let you take this one. We have McMillan and Turner against Giora Sella and Williams. I believe it's Brett McMillan, Keegan Turner, Giora Sella, Colton Williams.
The guys I know are Giora and Colton. They play quite a bit at Giora's house. He's got a beautiful backyard. A really nice guy from Wilmington. Giora's 6'3", 6'4", maybe a little taller than that actually. Blocker, starting to make a transition again into open. Colton is kind of similar to Adrian Husted from your region, smaller defender, good ball control, good hands. They play well together, but I'm not sure. I'm familiar with the other two.
Okay. I think I don't know Keegan. Brett McMillan, I've played him a couple times, and like he's athletic, but it looks like some of the skills are still starting to come together. The down low that Giora told me was that I believe Brett and Colton are roommates.
Oh, I know who that guy is. He's a really nice guy. I played against him first round one time, and he was really nice and seemed eager to get better. So yeah, I do remember him being athletic. I don't know who he's playing with though, so I'm more tempted to take Giora and Colton because I know him, but I wouldn't be surprised if that one's a battle.
Yeah, I felt like Giora with a court in his house, and also famous for his hospitality. Figured he earned a W here with that alone, so gave Giora the W.
Love it. Let's move on.
Okay. Joey Gordon, Ryan Ludwig against Jorge Tipiana and Anthony Rivera.
Love it. Jorge and Anthony are from my neck of the woods.
Are they?
I remember Anthony at I think it was a co-ed at the field house. And didn't he play with didn't he go to UC with Chase Johnson?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I saw him. He was an athletic kid. He definitely brought it. I mean, it's co-ed still, but I think he played open that tournament too for men's. But he looked good.
They're both long, lanky. They play a lot of grass, probably as much grass as they do beach. Really good guys. So if you get a chance, go up and talk to them. Jorge has taken out higher seeds at a lot of tournaments since I started playing beach, and he only shows up maybe 3 or 4 a year, and he'll just wipe some top seed. And I had the misfortune of being that one time when he was the partner of Spencer Gaston in a Blue Sky event, and took. So expect some fun things out of that team, and I hope they do well.
Interesting. An unnamed source, also from the Raleigh area, told me when I was clarifying whether I'd seen Jorge before. I think Jorge does have kind of slow hands, right? He's got very buttery, very slow grass hands, right? And this other unnamed source said Jorge might be here to scout out the talent rather than to play volleyball. So we will see.
I love it. Jorge's the man. You got to talk to him. He's a great dude.
Yeah. Cortland, you want to give us an overview on Joey and Ryan?
Everybody knows them. Everybody, aggressive, loud. I mean, they'll try and get in your head every game, just be obnoxious. They do the best. I mean, the loudest games is when I'm playing Joey. I mean, we get after it. So, I mean, I could see them getting after it and being strong early in the morning, just being loud, obnoxious, like always. But that's how they play. So I think it'll be a little bit too much for Anthony Jorge.
Yeah, I think that.
I'm calling an upset here only because, and I really like Jorge's game, but because Joey and Ryan will play more beach, I think they might be the better team.
Okay. I say this one goes 3 though.
But
I can see it going 3.
All right, next round.
All right. We have Logan Smith and his partner Esh against Luke Parks and Sean Rigglesworth. This one's pretty open and shut. Luke and Sean are gonna roll here and take care of business.
Got it.
Logan's a nice kid though, coming down from Lynchburg. Next at the 15 versus the 18, we have Gene Wade, Aaron Campbell against Joel Monasterly and Hunter Weinkoff. A nice little Virginia Beach showdown.
Hunter's a big lefty. He will make mistakes if it's tight or off. I mean, he has to have a perfect set for him to actually get a good swing. Gene and Aaron, I saw them play last tournament. They looked good. Aaron was hustling. He was playing, making a lot of good plays, getting a lot in the digs. I don't really know Joel.
Joel plays a lot at Paradise Ocean Club, part of the Keeter original crew. But unlike a lot of the Keeter original crew, Joel does not hand set and refuses to hand set. And he thinks that all of the hand setting things that are going on now are an abomination to the game. And it's pretty amusing to watch.
So he's going to have a war with Gene's hands?
Right. So he's going to have some things to say about Gene's hands for sure, which, are kissed by the gods, as everyone knows.
Like Gene.
Yes, kissed by Gene, correct. We ended up going with Gene and Aaron. And I actually think the main difference here is setting. Like, I think Gene and Aaron both set pretty well. And I think Joel and Hunter are going to give away some points with some Aaron sets.
Absolutely.
All right, good.
All right, and that finishes the round of 16, or the round of 24, excuse me. Round of 16, Angel Dache, Chris Vaughn against Kyle Price and Eric Troshin.
Guys that have made a main draw.
Yeah. Better luck next time, Kyle and Eric.
Yeah. Vaughn, New Jersey, really good dude, great player. Made a main draw with Jake Rosner. He made multiple main draws last year.
Yeah.
Really, really awesome for him. Old NBL guy, not old. He's been playing years, maybe longer. And then Angel is the dominant force in the North Carolina region, coming out of Wilmington, and he made a main draw through the AVP Next Gold Series.
Yep. So they're gonna go ahead and roll
this one.
Next, we have Joe Agaroy, Bed Pung against Graham Wren, yours truly, and Matt Helmick. The 8 versus 9.
Love to see it. So we got the out of towners against Matty Ice and our local co-host. Corlin, what are your thoughts on this?
Through this one was kind of a toss up. I have Graham and Matt going on. I have this one in 3. I think Joe and Ben will definitely be a close one. It'll definitely be a lot of aggressive hits. I don't see this one being kind of lazy and kind of like easy to roll through. The difference I see in this one is the only reason I gave it to Matt and Graham is because of Matt's aggressiveness and kind of more dominance at the net, I think.
I think Graham and Matt are going to do well. And the out of town guys, they had probably been playing more. They've definitely been playing more than Matt has out of Fayetteville. Also, I have this one going 3 as well. One of the sets I'm betting is going to be a blowout, one way or the other. I don't actually know which way. I think either of these teams could find a chink in the other one's armor. If it were up to me, I'd coin toss this because I don't know enough about Agaroy and Pung's chemistry. I know that they've played quite a bit together.
I didn't know either, so I don't know much about them. But I have to go with the homeboys.
If you're strongly going with the homeboys, then I'm not going to force this into a coin toss.
All right.
Just know that was my choice. Was a coin toss on this because I just don't know enough to call otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a little bit of last minute partner shuffling on Luke Parks's part. Originally signed up with Matt McLaren, so this originally wasn't our matchup, and I was looking at like trying to figure out how to pick Joe Agroy and Ben Pung, and because I'd never seen Ben play, I went to look at his finishes, and it was like a lot of chaos events. It was like 17th, 3rd, 5th, 17th, 25th, 17th, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This dude's an enigma.
I will say, I wasn't Joe the one we played last tournament.
Yeah,
he is a good player. He will run down. They were very defensive on me and Dalton. I mean, they kind of pulled a lot, and they still it was still 21-19, 22-24, both in us.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, they'll get stuff up. So that's why it's kind of almost a coin toss, but I'll still go with the homeboys.
All right.
All right, moving on. And I'm going to toss this next one to Cortland as well, because he looks like he's itching to talk about this one. We got the 5 versus the 12, Nick Drucker, Brett Rosenmeyer against Cam Rodriguez and Dalton Bundy.
Ooh.
So this is the game that I wanted last time. I wanted me and Dalton against Nick and Brett. We got it, but unfortunately, Dalton started cramping a little bit, so we kind of shit the bed on that one. I will say
the players and where they're from, where they play, that kind of stuff.
Nick and Brett, they're from here. Or Nick, well, I don't actually know where Nick's from. Richmond?
Yeah, Nick's from Richmond.
And then Cam, DC, and Dalton also DC. Both really good teams. I think Dalton has a really great swing. I mean, after that game again with me and him against Nick and Brett, he lit up. I mean, he was banging balls, killing it. I say this one goes 2. Nick and Brett have the more dominance and more aggressive hits, smarter players, if I could say. Cam, he makes a few more errors than Nick and Brett.
And we haven't even talked about how good of a referees they are either, Kevin. Isn't that right?
Can't trust them. All right, so I'm going Nick and Brett on the consistency alone and their performance from last time.
All right, agreed. Kevin, you take this one. We got Josh Lemire, Brian Conacher against Christian and Nick Smith from New York.
Smith brothers, love to see those guys coming down. They are from the Northeast region as well. Play a lot with Chris Frazier and those guys.
Okay.
They're 2 really, really, really good kind of split blocking guys, old school volleyball guys, hit a lot. One of them bump sets, the other one hand sets. They're just a tough team to play against and figure out. My understanding from their region is that they're still a little bit too indoor and that they swing a lot and they'll make errors, but the indoor sand facilities actually help them out because there's no wind and elements. They came down to Virginia Beach and won a pretty decent event last year over Jeff Samuels and John Rogers in the finals. And I think they also beat Andrew McMurray from my region, and Brett Rosenmeyer. So I expect them.
This was a pre-hit workout, Brett Rosenmeyer, though. So,
So Josh and Brian have been working really hard, but I don't think that they have the chops to beat the Smith brothers. But really happy to see the Smith brothers coming in, and then the Ohio guys obviously as well. It's really good to see people from other regions making the trips down.
Nice. So we'll go with the Smiths in 2. Next, we got Joel Feldkamp, John Drake out of the Ohio region playing Giora and Colton.
I'll let you guys take this one. I don't know many of these.
Yeah.
Similar situation, to be honest. Two experienced vets on the beach. John Drake is qualified for an AVP, maybe 2. He's coming out of Cincinnati, played there a long time. One of the Chaos athletes, helps run the facility in Cincinnati. He's a really good dude, and he's overall one of the most well-rounded and kind of sneaky players that there is. When you watch him warm up and when you watch him play, he's really unassuming. He doesn't have a monster swing or anything like that, but he gets the ball down to the sand and he doesn't make a lot of errors. And Joel is a little bit more physical. He probably jumps a bit higher and hits a bit harder. But he and Joe Ruzick just won one of their bigger Chaos events up there. So right. Joel is on a volleyball high at the moment, and John is obviously a solid all-around guy.
All right, Ohio boys in 2. Next, we have the loud Joey Gordon, Ryan Ludwig against Andrew McMurray and Misha Freistater.
Oof. I'm repping my boys here. Andrew and Misha played well together and made multiple finals last year, I believe. Misha is a 6'7" guy that has his overline will beat you even if you're defending in the line, and he will hit it with impunity. Andrew is known for probably being one of the guys with the best hands and best shots out there. He's improved dramatically in the last year, and I expect those two to roll in 2.
Yeah, I'll pick them in 2, maybe 3. It could potentially go 3, but I think Andrew and Misha find a way to win. I think against a team like this, Joey and Ryan's game is definitely predicated around trying to get inside their head, and unfortunately, they're just not going to succeed against the machine.
All right, so that's a thing now.
Yeah,
right.
It's a thing. Next, at the 7 versus the 10, we have Cortland Scherenborg, Brian Dirks. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Scherenborg against Luke Parks and Sean Regglesworth. Talk about a tough first draw.
I know.
This is one of those funny situations to me that is 2 very similarly built teams against each other. You have one guy that's roughly 6'4" and jumps well, and the other guy is this big, long kind of actually, both of them are great setters. Dirks is a great setter, and so is Luke's. So this is going to be a really interesting one. Both Dirks and Luke both have big old jump serves. So what are your thoughts, Graham?
So I had several thoughts. So my first thought was that I think Cortland's speed in the backcourt is something they have that Sean and Luke do not. What Sean and Luke have in spades, which like Dirks only has a little bit, is like Sean and Luke really know how to turn weird situations their way. It's something they're both very, very good at, and you just you're left scratching your heads. And then on top of that, they got a warm-up match in. But I do think that overall, I think in system, Cortland and Brian are just a hair better. I think, again, both are having big blockers up there, and Cortland's speed in the backcourt's a big deal. But also, I know that Luke and Sean generally don't watch these videos, so I'm going to pick Cortland and Dirks.
I'm actually with you on that one. Dirks is an incredible partner, and he will pick you up and tell you how great you are almost every point of the game. In terms of learning how to be a partner, emulate Brian Dirks as much as you possibly can.
Gotcha.
I think that this one's going to go. I actually think it's going to go too. I think you'll play great with Dirks.
Thanks.
Nice. Next, 2 versus the 15, Gene Wade, Aaron Campbell against Dave Arnold and Cam Beans.
Damn. Cam's coming from the Midwest for this one?
Yeah, probationary Midwest. Joe is still yet to accept.
I was going to say, you want to explain the situation there?
Yeah, so Cam was still upset that he got left out of the Mid-Atlantic top 5 list, and said he was defecting to the Midwest. Should be considered a Midwest player because apparently he plays a lot up there. And then Joe Ruzick, I believe, may have said, I don't know if we want him, blah, blah, blah. So he's, I guess, kind of on a probationary period for being a Midwest player, despite living in the Annapolis area, which, is right where Dave Arnold is now. But I think they'll roll in 2 pretty easily over Gene and Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Both great guys, both loud guys. And overall, they've been playing longer and better.
Yeah. All right, round of 8. Angel and Chris against myself and Matt Helmick.
Tough game.
Taking the bullets.
Tough game.
Tough draw. I think that
Angel and Chris, I think, are just too much, and it's just gonna kind of roll into.
All right. I've been preparing myself for this, but it still hurts. Still hurts. I'll try to find a way to move on. We've got next at the 4 versus the 5, 4 seed Smith squared against Nick Drucker, Brett Rosenmeyer. What do you think?
Definitely 3. Going 3. I can't really say much about the Smiths. I only saw them once at that tournament that you were talking about last summer. I didn't really watch much of it. Just knowing Nick and Brett, 2 very, very strong arms. Both split blocking too. So, I mean, I think this one goes 3 in the favor of Nick and Brett by their performance last time. They played really well last tournament. They clicked really well. I can't really say much about Smith's brothers, so that's all you.
Yeah. Kevin, what do you think? Are you on Team Smith?
Oh man, this is tough because especially with the way Nick's been playing, like the guy knows how to win games. It's really tough to pick against either one of these teams because Nick and Brett have had recent success together, but the Smiths have been playing together for years. I mean, they're brothers, and they also proved last year that they can beat some good teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd coin toss this one, to be honest. If I'm going with my gut, I'd probably go Smith brothers, but only because they've been playing together longer, and I know they've been playing a bunch up in their region.
How's the sand in Highline Arena? Have you been there?
I've not. I know nothing about it.
Okay. So when the Smiths came down and won that tournament, little backstory. So they ran into Angel and Tyler in the winners round of 4 and got blown out, frankly.
No. Jenness.
Huh?
Caleb Jenness.
No.
Oh, really?
No. Caleb Jenness was not at the tournament.
Which tournament? The TVA?
Yeah.
He was playing with Tillman or Caleb.
Yeah.
When they played the brother, No,
the Smith brothers came down for that tournament. Like, I don't think you were there, but like Dave Arnold played with Regglesworth.
Yeah.
Brett and Andrew played together.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin played with Austin Banks.
Yeah, I was there for them.
Who'd you play with?
Oh, I think that's the one. What's his name? Older guy.
Stretch.
Stretch, yeah.
So like Cortland played with Stretch. Misha played with Yoder.
Yeah. And that's the game that's the tournament I left early, but I did watch Caleb and Angel kind of get rolled. Was it by the Nick brother?
Caleb and Angel didn't play that tournament.
Wait, so who are you saying that they lost to?
So that they lost to Jeff and Tyler, dropped down to the losers bracket. He went in the 5th place match and then played Brett Rosenmeyer and Andrew in the semi, and then played
it's John Rogers is who you're thinking of.
Yes, John Rogers. And then replayed Jeff Samuels and John Rogers in the final. But in between their initial kind of loss to Jeff and John, it downpoured. And we all had to go inside, and then we came back out, and it was hard packed sand, which in my mind benefited their game a lot. And I think like indoor sand, no wind benefits their game, but the sand at TVA is also pretty deep. So kind of in my mind, I think, both Nick and Brett play pretty well in deep sand, and you were kind of talking about how the Smiths kind of benefit a little bit from, the more like indoor it is, the more dominant they get. And I think that they're in deeper sand. I'm going to go ahead and take Nick and Brett in 3.
All right, I've been overruled. Let's go.
All right. Next, 3 versus 6, Joel Feldkamp, John Drake against Andrew McMurray and Misha Freistater. Kev?
I mean, so if you're finishes, you got to go Drake and Feldkamp. Drake's been a strong player for a long time, and been playing really good ball. Had that dub with Ruzick recently. John's been really streaky in the last year, I would say. Joe's pointed this out in a cheeky way a number of different times, that John doesn't have the finishes that he once did, and that he's taken a step back and started playing with younger guys to try to bring them up rather than really competing. Joel isn't a younger guy. He's probably my age. So I don't know if they're coming out here to kind of prove dominance or just to have a fun time or what.
Can be both. Dominance is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Andrew and Misha have been practicing on any day above 50 degrees, and they look good. So I'd like to take Andrew and Misha on this one, but what do you guys think?
Cool.
Andrew and Misha will definitely have a tough time. I don't really know much about Joel and John, like I said. By the way they play and the way I've seen them play, they will definitely give them a tough time. I think I'd have to go off points for this one and finishes with Joel and John. So I'm going with Joel and John on this one. It will definitely go 3. I'm saying extra points in 3 too.
What do you think, Graham?
So frankly, my thought going back to a month ago, the indoor sand TVA, Kevin over here was talking about how dominant and how great both of these guys are going to be individually playing with different people. Picked Andrew to win, came up short, lost in the finals. Picked Misha and his partner Joey Pate to beat me. They lost. So I think we've got a couple instances of each of these players. What was that?
Describe that loss to you. 11-9 in game 3 and then losing.
Yeah. So, I mean, they ended up losing, and then they also ended up, dropping to Cam Rodriguez and James Moyer, a team of 259 dudes. So we've got a couple instances of some Raleigh guys kind of not quite living up to the Kevin Knight expectations. So I think I'm going with Joel and John based on their, reputation and points. I think it'll be close for sure, but I'm going with the Ohio boys.
Way to pick upsets, guys.
Well, we did pick the 5 over the 4, and our next match is the 2 versus the 7. Dave Arnold, Cam Beans, Cortland Scherenborg, Brian Dirks.
Ooh. Love me some Brian Dirks. Dave and Cam have played once together. I believe it was a TVA tournament last year.
Yeah.
They're good. I know Cam's been playing. I know Cam's been coaching. Dave said he's gotten out whenever he can in Annapolis.
Yeah.
I like Dave and Cam in this one because they've individually had a number of really strong finishes, and they've played once together, so they probably have figured enough out to get past this round. What are your thoughts, Graham?
I actually think Cortland and Dirks are going to pull it off.
I might as well not be part of this call. You about to coin toss this?
We are going to have to coin toss this. Frankly, my thought is, so Cortland and Beans have played a number of tournaments together over the years. And kind of to give you an idea, Cortland was always full-time blocking for Cam. And now when, Cortland's definitely more of a defender than a blocker, but just compared, relative to Cam, he was the blocker. And now, when you compare Cam Beans and Dave Arnold, I think everyone would tell you that Cam Beans is the blocker of the two if they decide to block, or maybe they'll split, who knows. But you think they'll split?
Yeah.
But
I think Cam will want to split. I think he'll force Dave to kind of split block.
That's true. And I think a lack of physicality is going to be an issue for Cam and Dave. And I think that, you're talking about February ball that's maybe not quite as sharp, and, I think their window for messing up is a lot smaller than Cortland and Dirks's.
Cam Beans, don't let these two disrespect you like this.
There was no disrespect.
You can't make this pick over two OGs here. got Dave Arnold. How many finals have they been in competitively, either against or as part of?
I mean, I think the last time Dave Arnold was actually, that's not true. Dave made a lot of finals with you. I'd take back what I was going to say, but even so, like, here's the thing. You know, Dirks and Cortland living in the same region can train together a fair amount versus like commuting from Maryland all the way to the Midwest. It's impossible.
My thought here's my thought. Okay, my thought is when I was doing this too, I was just saying, hey, they have not a much smaller block, but they're both defenders. They're both primarily defenders. So the block presence won't be as crucial to us as other teams. Like Luke and Sean, that's gonna be a harder block to go through. This one, I don't think as much as it should be as a eighth round or
round of 8. And kind of the other part of that too is like, yeah, they're not that much, you know, Cam's probably similarly sized block to Cortland. He's not a similarly sized block to Dirks, who will be doing the full-time blocking. So not only are we talking about, you know, them facing a smaller block, they're facing the Dirky sandwich up at the net with a fast defender behind him.
I'm just going to remind you, this game is about ball control mistakes, and the team that's making fewer ball control and fewer mistakes, or fewer ball control errors and fewer mistakes overall, is Cam Beans and Dave. With that said, I'll leave it to you. Coin toss it if you must.
You have a coin?
I can go grab one.
Okay. Cortland's gonna go get a coin, and then we will move on to the next match in the meantime. Angel Dashe, Chris Vaughn against Nick Drucker, Brett Rosenmeyer, and think Angel and Chris are just too much for Nick and Brett to handle here.
Move it frame a little more. You're like half off.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think Angel and Chris are just a little too much to handle for Nick and Brett. I think Nick and Brett will play some really solid ball, but I think Angel and Chris's physicality, experience, ball control, etc. will win out.
Yeah, on this, Nick is gonna hate me for picking it twice, but he's the ultimate competitor, and he knows that I got a lot of respect for his game.
Yeah,
but
exactly. If you couldn't pick him over the Smiths, how are you going to pick him over Angel and Chris?
This is going to be a fun one. I think this will be a fun one.
I can't rationally, so I'm Angel as well, because Angel's been putting in the work, and Chris is an established. I mean, you can literally call Chris an established pro. He made a ton of main draws on the NBL, and then he's made main draws on the AVP. So, yeah, I'm going with Chris and Angel.
All right, real quick, back to Cortland versus Dave Arnold and Cam Beans. You got heads or tails, Court?
I'll take tails.
It's tails.
There we go.
So tails never fails. Cortland and Dirks move on.
Cam, you got to let them know at this tournament.
See, that's the other thing too. Is I think Cam might try to talk a little bit of smack, and normally that might get under Cortland's skin a little bit. But as you said, he's got the GOAT partner to keep him steady, and Brian Dirks. So.
Mic that man up.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got the other playing in the semi: Joel Feldkamp, John Drake, Cortland, and Brian Dirks.
I'm not taking this.
You're not taking this. All right. So, Kevin, you have 20 seconds to tell us what would happen if Andrew McMurray and Misha Freistater make it to this match.
And also Cam Beans and David.
Oh, okay. We don't have time for that. That's too much hypotheticals.
It's all you then, because I picked two other teams here.
All right. Well, I think Cortland and Dirks have had a pretty tough road already. Last time I picked against someone for having a tough road, Mark Fornicari and Nolan Albrecht made me eat my words hard. That being said, I can't go with Cortland and Dirks in this one. I got to go with the Ohio boys. Hopefully they travel relatively well. I think their experience here proves a little too much, and I think they go in on the winner's side.
All right. So Ohio boys and Angel are the two that made it straight to the semi?
That is correct. All right. 17th place games. We have Gene Wade, Aaron Campbell against Chris Peters and Dan Hurley.
Take it away.
Yeah. You want it?
I'm going with Gene and Aaron on this one.
Yeah, you got to trust the OG.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that just the more experience, more knowledge of the game can beat the little juniors.
Yeah, I do think Chris Peters is borderline the best player on that court, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next, we've got Luke Parks, Sean Regglesworth against Doug Thorne and Bryce McVeigh. I think Luke and Sean are just too much for Doug's defense to handle behind Bryce McVeigh's block, unfortunately. It's just too much. Next, in a pretty interesting one, we have Joey Gordon, Ryan Ludwig against James Moyer and Francis Becknell.
That's all you.
Joey and Ryan.
Ryan?
I'm going with them. They surprise me sometimes. I think they'll be too much for James Moyer.
You think specifically for James Moyer?
I think so.
Interesting. Okay. I kind of feel that, but then I also feel like James kept his composure and was siding out well enough against a Joey Pate and a Misha to win, playing with a similarly 5'9" dude. So I think James showed some chops. Cam Rodriguez also definitely helped out with his kind of crafty cam on twos type stuff that, is just annoying enough to, score some points if you're not on your toes. So I think at the end of the day, I think James and Francis have everything within them to win, but I do think it's an uphill battle for them, both mentally and kind of, traveling the night before, trying to keep up with the energy that Joey and Ryan are going to bring to this match. So I did end up going Joey and Ryan, but I would not be shocked if it goes the other way. Next, we have Giora and Colton against Dallas Hitchens and Colin Register. We went with what we know. Guy and Colton, love to see him traveling down or back up from Wilmington. Gonna go ahead and get a losers round win here over a couple of juniors. Next, we got Josh Lanier, Brian Conacher against Brett McMillan and Keegan Turner. Kev, you think there's any chance that McMillan and Turner can take this, or you think Lanier and Conacher are just too strong?
I think there's always a chance. Brian and Josh definitely have raised their ceiling last year. They played some really great matches in Wilmington. I think making it all the way up to a fifth, some inspired ball. Or maybe that was Josh and Mitch. It was Josh and Mitch that made it all the way to a fifth. But anyway, I think Josh and Brian here, but their floor is still pretty low if they're not clicking together.
Gotcha. I was going to ask what you thought their floor was, because they also, Brian's another 5'9" dude, and I'm not going to say they got rolled, but they played Cam Rodriguez and James Moyer last time, and it was one of those matches you looked over and James and Cam were in control the entire time, with Josh occasionally asserting himself at the net.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have some really bad spells where they struggle mightily. So I think that there's a chance, but I want to go with the guys that I know have been putting the work in, and if they can stay confident, I think they'll take it.
Okay. Next, Cam Rodriguez, Dalton Bundy against Jorge Tipiana and Anthony Rivera.
I don't know about playing. Know if they're going to get through the. I mean, Anthony's a good 6'2" and long, and Jorge is 6'5" and definitely is a crafty guy. So take that for what it is, and then tell me who you're picking.
I think Dalton's arm swing just kind of overpowers the block and the defense through this game. Even on two balls, I think that it'll be just a tad too much. I think Anthony will be very good and play well this game. I just think that Dalton kind of just leads this game. I think Cam does a really well job in the back this game too. I'll have to go over the guys that I truly know.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me ask you a question. Does Cam and Dalton both play both sides? Who's going to play left? Who's going to play right?
So when I play with Cam, I tell him to stick on the right, because so it's easier for me to hit two balls.
Interesting.
I think that I don't know if Dalton will do that. I don't know if Dalton will want to take that aggressiveness or let Cam play whatever side he wants to play. But if I was Dalton Cam, I'd let Dalton play left so he
Gotcha.
can hit balls 1-2 easier.
Gotcha. Because I kind of go back and forth on like I think Cam is a tiny bit more comfortable on the left.
I think so too.
I think Cam can be a little more physical on the left. Versus on the right, he kind of has to rely on shots a little more. But it also wouldn't shock me if Cam starts to struggle on the left. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see him flip flop.
I wouldn't either.
So all that being said, Cam and Dalton.
All right.
Joe Agaroy, Ben Pung against Logan Smith and Esh. It's a rough one for Logan Smith and Esh, unfortunately. Drawing Luke and Sean round 1, and then getting the loser of us versus Joe and Ben in round 2. That's tough. We got to go with Joe and Ben. Kyle Price, Eric Troshin against Joel Monasterly and Hunter Weinkoff.
Experience wins this game.
Yeah, I think Kyle Price just ends up being
smarter and just more aggressive. Kind of not more aggressive, just knowing the game a little bit more than Hunter.
Right. Yeah. Like Kyle's is pretty good at finding ways to assert himself into the match if you try to take him out of it. So we're gonna go with Kyle and Eric. 13th place, Gene Wade, Aaron Campbell, Luke Parks, Sean Rigglesworth. The magical run of Gene Wade comes to an end here, unfortunately. Joey Gordon, Ryan Ludwig against Giora, Sella, and Colton Williams. Kev, you think Giora and Colton can take this, or you think Joey and Ryan just kind of roll them?
I'm going to go ahead and say that they can take this, but because it's in Joey and Ryan's home court, I'm going with Joey and Ryan on this. If it were in Wilmington, I think it'd be a different story.
I think Bills would be a toss-up, and I think his backyard court would be Augie.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Next, we've got Josh Lanier, Brian Conacher against Cam Rodriguez, Dalton Bundy.
Yeah, you got this one.
Yeah, I think here you watch the teams warm up and you're like, it's 3-5-9 guys plus the 6'3" Josh Lanier, and you think, the 6'3" guy should dominate this, but it's kind of the reverse. The ball control from Cam and Dalton ends up winning out over what a team that can be somewhat shaky on that category. And Cam and Dalton both know how to bring it, load serving and jump serving, and that's gonna play into this even more. I see this one in too for Rodriguez and Bundy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Joe Agaroy, Ben Pung against Kyle Price and Eric Troshin. 3 out of the guys in this match are from Ohio now. Fun fact. And that being said, I think the 2 stronger players are on the same team. Joe and Ben are gonna roll here. Luke Parks, Sean Rigglesworth against the Smith brothers in the 9th place match.
Wow. I have these teams here. So because I had the Smiths in that winter semi, I'm going to go with the Smiths here. I think I'm a little higher on their game than you two, but that's fine because we've all only seen them once. But I've heard good from the guys that play and train with them, and they've got a lot of work, got good training partners. So
when was the last time Luke and Sean played together? It's been a while since Matt's been playing with Luke.
I think last summer maybe.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, like, Luke and Sean are also longtime partners.
Oh yeah, they've been playing for a long time together, so
yeah,
they know each other. But
yeah,
I think the Smith brothers take it.
Yeah. I would not be shocked if it goes 3 though. Like I would, because like I think what we saw last time the Smiths were here, they definitely thrive off of confrontation. They got into a very heated match with Bryce Ernsberger and Cam Beams, and managed to out confront both of them, which was pretty hysterical to watch, frankly. They just absolutely thrived off of being the villains, and Luke Parks and Sean Rigglesworth are far from a team that's going to let them do that. You know, they're the exact opposite. They're cool, calm, collected, and just kind of doing Luke and Sean things. So I would not be shocked if it goes 3 or, even potentially the other way, but I am going to pick the Smiths. Joey Gordon, Ryan Ludwig against Graham Wren and Matt Helmick.
Court, this one's all you, bud. Whatever you say here.
Joey and Ryan, I think, will bring it just because they know Graham. I think they'll want to get in his head early and want to go after him very aggressively. I think that Graham and Matt handle that pressure, handle that easily, kind of. It kind of comes down to who can control the jump serves by Joey Gordon if he does. I think if Graham and Matt can control that, then they have it. If they can keep in system the whole game and be like have a few errors here and there, I think they have it. Joey and Ryan just I just think they just don't have the experience or the. I think they have the experience. They just lack some from Ren and Matt.
You're going.
I'm going Graham and Matt.
I'm also going Graham and Matt.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Next we have sent to losers. Some might say prematurely. Dave Arnold, Cam Beans against Cam Rodriguez and Dalton Bundy.
I'm not gonna even offer an opinion. I can't take this one seriously. They in this match. I don't think.
So we're going with Cam and Dalton, right?
Cam and Dalton.
Just trying to see if we get Kev to weigh in there. We think Dave and Cam Beans will find a way to get a win here.
I think that they'll
find a way.
They're a little bit smarter when it comes. I think Dalton will make a few more errors. And I think that just Beans and Dave just having more top finishes will take this one.
Right. Yeah, I think Cam Rodriguez's side-out game against these guys has to be immaculate, and anything less than immaculate is a loss.
All right.
Next, we have Joe Agroy, Ben Pung against Andrew McMurray and Misha Freistater.
Much for Agroy on this one. Andrew and Misha play stellar defense together. You got a 6'7" guy and a real quick 6-foot guy, and they know how to run really great schemes. So I'm going with Andrew and Misha.
Same.
Yeah, we agree. Next, 7th place, Smith brothers against Graham Wren and Matt Helmick. My hands are tied.
I might have picked the Smiths in every match so far, and I'm just going to continue that trend.
All right.
Any detraction, Cortland, or
now with this one? Now go with this one.
I think expectations are for the Smith brothers to win, but if you're there when this match happens, don't count us out. We'll be bringing the fire for sure. Next, the other 7th place match, we have Dave Arnold, Cam Beans against Andrew McMurray and Misha Freistater. And now we get to the one match where Cortland and I disagreed.
Let's hear it.
You want to do what?
Yeah, I'll go first. I went with Andrew and Misha. I think all.
See you, Kevin.
But see you, Kevin. Both.
I'm on power, so we got to keep cooking.
Right.
Okay. You're the one with cooking experience, not us. Andrew and Misha, they don't make a lot of mistakes inside out. Misha's the machine. I think Misha's blocking at the net and being 6'7" and really having a very nice press against a smaller, less physical team with a fast defender who's been known to take over matches at times. Behind him, I think ends up being a little too much for Dave and Cam, who are going to have to work harder for, to side out. They're going to have to work harder to score real points at the end of the day in what's probably I would guess their 5th match. Maybe it's their 4th, but it might be, as the day gets later and later, I think Misha and Andrew end up prevailing over Cam and Dave.
I'll have to counter that one. That's I think when Cam kind of heats up later in the day, he kind of gets the ball moving, gets rolling, he gets fired up. I think that Cam brings it this game, knowing that he has Misha and Andrew, and I just see him just going off, running down every ball. I when I play Misha, he's kind of like my kryptonite. I can't find it, but I think Cam has this one. I think Dave and Cam will be smart against this game, against these guys, and go tough.
Okay.
I think this is a really interesting matchup. I think if it happens, it'll be later in the tournament than this. I think there is potential for it to happen, but I think it's in an entirely different round. If this matchup were to happen, Andrew and Misha versus Cam and Dave. Andrew got the better of Dave Arnold. Andrew was playing with Jeff Samuels, and Dave was playing with Pat Crenshaw.
Yep.
And for some reason, Andrew just seemed to have a read on Dave. And if that continues, then I'd say that Andrew and Misha are going to take this, because Cam and Dave aren't big enough to stop Misha, and I don't know if I don't see them serving Andrew in this one. That's that.
I'd like to chime in real quick. Something else I want to talk about with Misha. Like we've been joking, off and on for the better part of a year now, where it's like, oh hey, Misha hits high line. So when I played Misha last time, like his first shot he hit was a high line, and it was the first shot he hit, and it was a shockingly fast high line, and I was like, okay, that's the last one he gets. And then his next, however many shots and swings proceeded to be a baby cut, a deep angle swing, a seam swing, a high hands down the line swing, a thumb down 80-85% little angle swing, and then and this is us not serving Misha and trying to take him out of the game. And then all of a sudden it was in my brain, the shot chart populated, and I was like, he's evolved. and so in my mind, I just feel like it's too much. But go ahead, Kev. What do you think?
It's a really tough one to call. I like Beans and Dave together because of their control, and I like Andrew and Misha together because of their defensive ability. The only thing I think that can break this game is if Cam gets hot from the service line. And the reverse side, the only thing I think breaks this game for the other team is if Andrew really still has a beat on Dave Arnold defensively. So if this match happens, I'm actually going to go coin toss on this. I can't definitively pick one team over the other, but
you're so soft.
All right, well then me. I'll go hometown guys. I'll go Andrew and Misha.
There you go. I was about to say we have to give you shit for too much of a hometown Raleigh crew bias on everything, and you're not going to pick them in the match where it kind of makes sense. Come on now.
That's tough. I mean, I played up Cam and Dave earlier, and I also played up Andrew and Misha earlier. So it's at this point,
Cam. Give them hell.
I was gonna say, would it help if we told you this was the winners round of 4? Would that make you feel better about making this pick?
Entirely different analysis at that point.
Okay, sure. All right, 5th place match: Smith brothers against Scherenborg and Dirks.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the
Smith. You're picking with the Smiths. I'm still undecided. Kevin, let's hear it.
In this one, it's a team. This is what it comes down to for me. It's a team of brothers that have been playing beach together for I don't even know, a decade or so, coming together for the first time this weekend. So team matters, and we know that they're both strong players capable of winning tournaments.
All right. Why should I pick you?
Man, let's go. Strengths and weaknesses with Brian Dirks.
I think that you should pick us.
Okay.
Because 1, we're a hometown team. 2,
Objective.
I don't know how tall are the Smith brothers?
They're both 6'3", 6'4".
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. We're gonna come out hot. This is a 5th place going to the semis for money. This is our match. So this is the one that we have to win. I think I'm definitely gonna come out hot. Dirks is excited about this tournament. He has been texting me a lot this week, and he's excited. So I think that our energy, and I think we're gonna come out guns blazing for this one, going against the Smith brothers. I think that we just have we play a consistent game. Like we know the chemistry, we've had the chemistry, but it's not there, but it is there. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. That being said, if myself and Matt Helmick get to that round, I know we're taking the free booty. So if the Smiths get there, no reason they're not taking the free booty either. So I got to go with the Smiths.
All right.
But I think it'll be a hard fought game, and if this goes, it'll be a fun one to ref for sure.
Okay.
Definitely could go either way, but I am gonna go with the Smiths. Next we have Andrew McMurray, Misha Freistater with an asterisk against Nick Drucker and Brett Rosenmeyer.
Oh, what a matchup!
Yeah. You want
The
to
Raleigh versus Virginia Beach. How does this end up? Got two Virginia Beach guys on the other side of the line. I guess there's Virginia versus North Carolina.
Yeah, Virginia, North Carolina. Their defense, Misha and Andrew's defense is really good. Like you said, it's really good. Nick and Brett, their performance last tournament was really good. I mean, they clicked together real quick. They played really good ball. I'd say the only reason Nick and Brett lose this game is if their serve's not on. If Nick isn't coming back and ripping jump serves like he usually does, then they don't win this game.
How do you?
What I'm gonna say is, I went into the January tournament and I believed in Nick Drucker and Brett Rosenmeyer the entire time. Believed in them from start to finish. Disagreed with you vehemently at every point along the way when you tried to pick Nick Drucker and Brett Rosenmeyer. All that being said, all this picking for Nick has got me itchy, so I got to go with Andrew and Misha here, and I think that they're going to end up getting a dub. So I think it comes down to Kevin.
Here's again how I'm going to put it because I don't see this match. If Misha and Andrew make it to this point, coming through the contenders bracket, I think they're gassed. And Brett and Nick proved to me last time that they can make it through the whole day. So if this match happens at this point, meaning they've each played, I guess, well, Andrew and Misha would 4, and this is their 5th.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Nick and Brett because they're split blocking, and Andrew and Misha just can't keep doing it, and they've had a tough route anyway. If this match happens earlier, I go with. If it happens really early, like the winning round of 8 or 4, somehow if it were to happen earlier.
If your picks happened, it could happen in reverse with Nick and Brett going through the losers and like going further through the losers.
Just split 4 and 5, basically game.
Right.
Yeah.
Andrew and Misha have less games played.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So for now we're going Nick and Brett, and I'm just itchy all over. All right, in the semifinal number 1, Angel and Chris Vaughn against the Smiths.
Vaughn plays against the Smiths, and I don't know. I think I may be completely off on this. I think I heard somewhere that like Vaughn has like either never lost to them or never lost to them in a like a decently sized tournament or something. There's some ridiculous stat that like Vaughn has the Smiths number, I think, but I could be wrong. So I got to go with Vaughn because he knows their game. He's been playing longer than them at a higher level, and we know Angel's going to bring him.
We know Angel. He's going to play smart, play his game basically.
Let them get loud and chippy against our Cuban friend and see what kind of hellfire they bring down upon themselves.
Yeah. Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next we got Feldkamp and Drake against Drucker and Rosenmeyer. Cortland, what do you think?
I think after the Andrew Misha game, if that happens, that Nick and Brett will be degassed and the other guys will take it.
I could see it. I could see it happen. Yeah. That's tough. Yeah, I actually see it that way too. I think John and Joel, if they go straight through the semis, and they don't like start knocking some back, which they've been known to do after tournaments. I don't know if they would ever do it during one, but if they stay like mentally in it and they're ready to go, I think they come out fresh and then they just play clean volleyball.
Yeah, after that run, after Nick and Brett go through winning and losing and having to have to play another game while they're resting, I think that they're going to be kind of gassed.
So what I will say, as I've got a little inside information here, as someone who made the tournament schedule. So the men have a 7 a.m. start, and we're just blitzing rounds until like 1 o'clock, and then it drops down to one court. So kind of the
One
art
court.
Yes. So the art, and like that's to get everyone to finish on time. So the argument of being gassed in my mind doesn't hold a lot of water.
Never mind then.
Because like everything will be spaced out so much to the point I don't think anybody at this
can get gassed.
Yeah, like you can only get gassed if you're like going into the 9th or 7th place match. If you're like going through the losers, if you're one of the teams that won your first 2 matches, I don't see you getting gassed at this tournament because the back end of it is spread out enough.
I don't know, man. Like I don't think you recover all that much between matches unless you need a really significant amount of time. So I think it still holds.
With TVA sand too, that does play an effect.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's deep sand.
So, but I still have Joel and John over Nick and Brett.
All right, we got our final set then.
Yeah. Nick, I was rooting for you, but I think I'm going to go with the Ohio boys as well.
You got 2.
Yeah. Final, Angel and Chris against Feldkamp and Drake.
I've seen John and Feldkamp play individually. Again, they both are, they both can block, they both can defend somewhat. They both set real well. They can both bring it from the service line. So all around, they're a hard team to beat. But the thing that they're really lacking, at least in my mind, from having played against and watched them, is they don't have what I would call like an X factor. Like they don't have a monster jumper, or they don't have a huge block, and they don't have like a nasty defender. They're both just really good side out players and really good ball control players. So they're obviously not going to beat themselves. But to beat Angel and Chris, I think you really gotta have, the 6'8" dominant blocker, or you gotta have the defender
huge jump serve,
or a jump serve that can keep people off the court, and they just don't. I'm going Angel and Chris all the way on this one.
Yeah, I think I have to agree.
Yeah, the only thing that could help, that would change my opinion, is if John and Joel just come out hot with some jump serves. I mean, just ripping balls at Angel or Chris and just taking them out of system. If they can get them out of system a couple points, has to be a couple. But other than that, I just see Angel and Chris kind of just taking this one.
Yeah, I think that Angel and Chris also know how to play together. I think John and Joel know how to play together, but Angel and Chris have done it at a higher level more recently, I guess is the right way to say it. So.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really cool event. Thank you so much for TVA for putting it on. I wish I could be there. I think you guys are going to have a blast tomorrow, and make sure to give people some ribbing about our picks, and keep everyone updated throughout the day, and try to at least tape semis and finals. But because then we can put them on this channel, so everybody that tuned in for this can go find these matches. And if you like what we do, give us a like, give us subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers. And Cortland, I just want to say thanks for joining us. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you. This has been awesome.
It's been great to have
you guys' video. I was like, oh, I want to be in these. I want to talk about the tournament.
Yeah.
I want to get in this.
Ready to tell you how wrong you are every time you come on.
I know.
Well, Cortland and I agreed about just about everything. So
you're arguing against both of us here. Only one match that we disagreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out how wrong you are tomorrow. So let's wind this down, get this uploaded, distribute it to everybody. I'm gonna tell Corey from Ohio, Corey Chaos, who runs Chaos Beach in Ohio, about this because he's got a bunch of guys that are coming down to play, and I'm sure the women's teams are coming as well. So super happy to have them in, and I'm sure that they'd want to watch it as well. So anyway, I got to get back to lab. I'll see you all later, and keep me updated on your day tomorrow.
All right, we'll do. Peace out.
See you, man.